not take weapon, right? I will not take the weapon. But he came with the most dangerous weapon. Most dangerous weapon. Just like it is said that in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is mentioned that there are 5 kinds of smile. Hasitam means smiling to himself. Hasitam. Then Prahasitam means small smile, showing his lips, parting his lips and showing a little bit of teeth. Then Atihasitam, more joyful smile, laughter. Then Attahasam means paka, smiling, laughter. Apahasitam, smile which conquers others, right? Which conquers others. So it is said that Krishnam aklishta karmanam. Krishna's greatest ornament, he is a smile. Yeah, he is a smile. So he would do all his activities with a smile on his face. With a smile on his face. Then he controls all the 3 worlds simply by his smile. By his smile. So how Krishna used his smile on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, it is described by one Acharya that when Dhritarashtra asked Duryodhana, how many days it will take for you to finish off Pandavas? Duryodhana very proudly said, 1 day is enough. Said, why? Because there are so many great heroes in our... No, our Karna has this Shakti weapon. It is Amogha. Using that Shakti weapon, he will kill Arjuna. As soon as Arjuna is killed in the battlefield, all the other Pandavas are finished. Because they will not survive. So, finish 1 day. Okay, so Dhritarashtra was very hopeful. So Bhishma was very intelligent. He called him bad names and he told him, you are Ardharatha and all that. So because of that, Karna took a vow that as long as Bhishma is on the battlefield, I will not enter the battlefield. So 10 days aisa chala gaya. On the 11th day he entered. So Duryodhana tutored him. See, today should be the last day. Today should be the last day of the war. You use your Shakti weapon and you kill Arjuna, then your war is finished. Then, okay. Then he is all prepared and all. He came. So he came in front of Arjuna's chariot. Krishna smiled at Karna and asked, how are you, Karna? It was so bewitching smile that he forgot everything. Forgot everything. Then in the evening, Duryodhana asked, what happened? Then I forgot. Tomorrow. So next day he would come. How are you, Karna? ऐसा ही उसको मार दिया उसका स्माइल से, right? Like that. So Prabhupada describes in 10th canto 8th chapter that Mother Yashoda they were complaining to all the gopis are coming and complaining to the Mother Yashoda that your son is doing like this. Then Mother Yashoda asked, why don't you control him or something like that? Hide your things. Know what to do. Your son has such a beautiful smile. He would come, then we were ready. We tried to protect everything from him. He would come, then he would smile. And then we are standing like paintings in the picture, like that. And then in front of us, he will loot everything. Because in order to bring them back to consciousness, he would pinch some child, then they would cry, and then they would come back to consciousness, and then he will cry. He will run away. He will run away. So one of the features of Krishna is he is always smiling, I told. So while sleeping also he is smiling. And then that bewilders Mother Yashoda like anything. So sometimes, Mother Yashoda would keep Krishna on her lap, and Krishna is sleeping. Then he is smiling. And then Mother Yashoda becomes so enchanted by seeing Krishna's smiling face. She would just keep looking at him, and then looking at him, and then she becomes so enchanted that she starts crying, and the tears will fall. And then the tears will fall on Krishna. And then Krishna would wake up. Then he would see Mother Yashoda. Ma, why are you crying? I said, Maya Yashoda said, I am not crying. I said, but you are crying, tears are there. No, they are Ananda Bashpa. They are tears of joy. Then Krishna said, Ma, I also want to have Ananda Bashpa. Mother Yashoda said, you cannot have. I said, why? Because you have not done as much punya as I have done. Why? Because I have got this punya of seeing your smiling lotus face. So you don't have. Of course, at that time, mirrors and all. He has to carry mirror, otherwise, like that. So that was Krishna's smile. That is, so that, of course, I will later on describe. Mahaprabhu also described Krishna's smile like that. So that Krishna's smile only is transformed into flute sound and enchants the entire world. So Prabhupada writes in first canto Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, 11th chapter, that when you see the beautiful nature, suppose you are driving to some Kandala or Lonavala, you see some beautiful scenery, right? Especially when you drive from Los Angeles to San Francisco, you can see the beautiful scenery, all the very beautiful. So that beautiful scenery is smiling of Krishna. Smiling of Krishna. Like that. In the same way, Lord Ramchandra also, he is also got a bewitching smile. Bewitching smile. That's why he said, Pumsham Mohana Rupaya. Like when Ramchandra was going, when Kaikeyi Bhavan, Dashrath Maharaj called, Sumantra called Ramchandra to come to Kaikeyi Bhavan because Maharaj Dashrath was there. So there was so much public assembled on the streets of Ayodhya to have a glimpse of Lord Ramchandra. So then they all saw Ramchandra, beautiful smiling lotus face. They all became enchanted. So Valmiki Muni says that there is a beautiful verse composed by Valmiki Muni. He says, there are only two sentences on the lips of all the residents of, all the visitors of Ayodhya. What is that? Did Rama see you? Have you seen Rama? Right? Did Rama see you? Have you seen Rama? If one of these two things have not happened, then your human life is wasted. You are not a human being. Like that. After that, then he was consigned to the forest and all. Suppose if somebody comes and says, now you are dismissed, from your post. How will we react? Badmash hai, politics hai, crying and all. But Ramchandra was dismissed to forest. But when he came out, all the people saw that Ramchandra is smiling. Right? He's still smiling. There is one great Acharya, Kuruttalwar, Sri Sampradaya. He describes that Lord Nrsingadev, he made lot of preparation, how to kill Hiranyakashipu, which Veshdharan I should do. Then he says, Prahlad Maharaj said, Vanam gato yad harimashriyata. So Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj likes lion, because another meaning of the word Hari. Then Hiranyakashipu, you also use the word Hari. I will kill you like a lion. Like lion kills a lamb, something like that he told. Oh, this Hiranyakashipu also likes lion. So that then he decided, I will take the form of lion. And then he was doing makeup. He was doing makeup. All that. So meanwhile, Prahlad Maharaj was asked, where is your God? He said, he is everywhere. So he spread out everywhere. Right? That's why Shiva Vaishnavas say, when we are in danger, we should only pray to Lord Nrsingadev, because he is ready-made God. Because he anticipated, that's why he was spread each and every atom, because they were not sure which stamba he would ask. Is he there in this stamba, is in this wall, or something like that. So as a precaution, he was spread all over. Like that. So meanwhile, all the Ayudas they came. All the Ayudas they came. He said, you are not taking care? You are not taking us with us? No, this time, not in this incarnation. I have to use my nails. I said, what is this? So the nails are also unhappy. He has only Panchapranas. We are 10 of us. Like that. Then Sudarshan Chakra requested, let me enter the nails. Okay. So Sudarshan Chakra entered the nails. So Lord Nrsingadev came, very ferocious form. Right? Very angry. Then he was doing like this, he was shaking his hands. He wanted to kill Hiranyakashipu. He was very angry. Then suddenly, Hiranyakashipu disappeared. He was looking here, there. Then he was thinking, अरे मेरा incarnation waste हो गया. इतना prepare करके आया. I prepared and came, and then my incarnation is wasted. He said, what happened? Hiranyakashipu गायब हो गया. I could not kill him. Like that he did. Then actually Hiranyakashipu became so scared, he entered into the nails of Lord Nrsingadev. So Lord Nrsingadev, when he did like this, Hiranyakashipu came out. Then he saw Lord Nrsingadev, sorry, he is here. Then he smiled, it seems. Even in that anger also, he was smiling. So Kuruttalwar says, I pray to that smiling lotus face of Lord Nrsingadev. Even though he was in great anger, he is still smiling. So you cannot actually take away the smile of Krishna. They are always smiling. Right? What is the, many times I told this, if somebody asks you, can you describe Bhagavad Gita in 2 lines? How will you describe? Yeah. Nah. In 2 lines. Krishna is smiling, Arjuna is crying. Right? Krishna is smiling, Arjuna is crying. Tam tata krupaya vishtam ashrupurna kulekshanam. Arjuna is crying. Right? Krishna is smiling. Krishna is smiling. So, smiling means he's always happy. He's always happy. So that is what the gopis are remembering in front of Lord Baladev, that how Krishna is smiling. Right? So, in Bhakti-rasamrita Sindhu, it is very nicely described that when Krishna reaches Kaishora age, so his eyes are assumed little reddishness in his eyes. There is, when the sun rises, there is a reddishness in the sky. That reddishness has appeared in the eyes of beautiful lotus eyes of Krishna. That's what our Bilva Mangal Thakur, it's a beautiful verse. Taruna Aruna Karunamaya Vipulayata Nayanam Kamali Kucha Kalasi Bhara Vipuli Kruta Pulakam Venurava Lahari Kruta Munimanasa Nalinam Mamakelatu Madachetasi Maduradhara Amritam. Beautiful, right? सुनने के लिए इतना अच्छा लगता है, right? तरुणारुणा करुणामया विपुलायत नयनम, right? How his eyes are so beautiful that when the sun is rising, so early rise sun, that reddishness, it is there in the eyes of Krishna. So they are looking very beautiful. At the same time, karunamaya, they are completely merciful. He is casting merciful glances on his devotees. Right? That's why Prabhupada says, whenever we come in front of Radharasa Bihari, we should look at Radharasa Bihari and visualize that Radharasa Bihari is casting his merciful glances on me. Then Prabhupada says, by regularly coming into the temple, and when the Krishna's glances fall on us, our body becomes purified, we become very healthy, and all sinful reactions automatically they get nullified on their own. So that is why we should always come and have darshan of the Lord. Not that we see the Lord should see us. So Vipulayata Nayanam. When he touched the body of Radharani, his hair stood on end, Pulakam, Kamali Kucha, Kalasi Bhara, Vipuli Kruta. Then Venurava, when he is playing flute, the waves of the flute song touched the bodies of, ears of the sages who are in meditation, and their meditation broke. And their hearts melted because of the beautiful sound. So, let that nectar of Krishna's lips appear in my heart, which is maddened after the beauty of Krishna, like that. So Krishna assumed very beautiful features when he assumed the Kaishora age. So that time the gopis are describing that Krishna is looking so beautiful. With reddened eyes, and then small hairs are appearing on his face. Right? Prabhupada said, Krishna doesn't have mustache. When he went to Parsarthi temple, Prabhupada said, this is not correct because they have mustache, Prabhupada said, Krishna doesn't age beyond 16 years. Of course, nowadays, because of hormonal imbalance and all, 10 साल में दाढ़ी मूंछ आ जाता है. Ladies also get nowadays. Right? But after 16 years old, they mooch vagara, right? Like that. So Prabhupada said, so the gopis were discussing, oh, Krishna has become very beautiful. Then now, not only that, Kundalata Gopi, she was describing Krishna's beauty, saying that now Krishna has assumed a very beautiful smile. And then his lips are reddish because of eating pan. And then he is looking here and there, casting his cooling glances. So, my dear Gopi, I think very nicely described, it's very nicely described that Krishna used his beauty like a chisel. And the ladies, all the gopis' chastity is like a stone. So Krishna, using his chisel-like beauty, chiseled away the stone of chastity of the gopis. And the gopis are very confused whether to follow dharma or not, whether to follow moral principles or not, like that. So, this is how they described Krishna's beauty. In various features, Barha, Pidam, Natavara Vapuhu, Karnayo, Kanikaram, Vibradvashah, Kanaka Kapisham, Vaijayanti Chmalam, Randrad Veno, Radar Sudam, Apurayan Gopa Vrindai, Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam, Pravishad Gita Kirtihi. Right? This is the most important verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto. After hearing this verse only, Sukadeva Goswami, he became a devotee. Devotee. Why? Because Parinishtopi Nairgunya, Uttama Shloka Leelaya, Grihita Cheta Rajarshi, Akyatam Yat Aditvan. He himself says in 2nd canto, 1st chapter, that my dear king, I am completely fixed in impersonal Brahman, Parinishtopi Nairgunya, in Nirguna Brahma. Then Uttama Shloka Leelaya. But when I heard Krishna's pastimes, when I heard this Krishna's pastimes, I became enchanted. So all of you know that Vyasadeva, he made his disciples recite Bhagavatam verses. So when Sukadeva Goswami heard these two verses, one is this Barha Pidam Natavara Vaphu, Karnayo Karnikaram, and then Aho Bhakiyam Stanakal Kutam. So after hearing these two verses, so he became attracted to Krishna's pastimes and Krishna's beauty and all. So Sri Radha Govind Maharaj says that every day, so this is the description of Krishna while he was going to Gocharan Leela. Every day. Every day. So evening, what is the difference? When evening he would come back, there is a different description. How does he look? What is the difference? Dinaparikshaye Neelakuntale. Right? Dinaparikshaye Neelakuntale. Vanaruhananam Vibradavritam. Ganarajaswalam Darshayan Muhur. Ganarajaswalam. Because Krishna was doing all Gocharan and all. So the cows and the calves, they run. So that time the dust is raised and the dust adorns the beautiful hair of Krishna. Beautiful hair of Krishna. So Krishna looks differently beautiful with all the face covered with the dust, hair covered with the dust. Then the hair falling on his, forehead, like that. So the gopis are struck. Then they were cursing that, we cannot see Krishna's face properly, because his hair falling on the forehead. It's not, we are not able to see properly, like that. So Radha Govind Maharaj says, every day we should actually sit for some time for some time and meditate on this verse. See, visualize, we can go to Vrindavan every day, right? Every day we can go to Vrindavan and sit, simply, mentally go there and see Krishna walking in the streets of Vrindavan. Then all the gopis and all gopas, surrounding him, the cows and the, calves, and the entire world enchanted. Then all the demigods, everybody was watching Krishna. They also come every day, right? They also come every day to have darshan of Krishna, going for Gocharan Leela, right? And so when Krishna was walking on the streets of Vrindavan, Madhusudan Saraswati, he writes in Ananda Mandakini, he wrote a book describing the Krishna's beauty. So he writes in that book that when Krishna was walking on the streets of Vrindavan, he was leaving behind usually the land is very hard, but when Krishna is playing the flute, the land becomes melted. Vrindavan land becomes melted. So that is why when Krishna is walking, he is leaving behind the footprints, of his beautiful footprints. Then all the demigods, Brahmaji with four heads, Lord Shiva with 5 heads, Indra with 1,000 eyes, and then they come with different vahanas. Indra comes with white elephant, and then our Brahmaji comes with Hamsa, Lord Shiva comes with bull. So they all become so ecstatic. That with their heads touching the footprints of Krishna, they are offering prayer, their pranams to Krishna, all the demigods. And then all the coward boys with a stick in their hand, hey, hata, because seeing all your, they were all thinking, ye kaun hai चार heads wala, ye kaun hai 5 head wala, ye kaun hai 1000 aankh wala. So all our cows and calves are getting frightened. Get lost. So they were beating them with stick, it seems. And then even wearing the insults and beatings of the coward boys, still they are not leaving, it seems. They are so Krishna is wearing, Barhapidam, Natavara Karnayukanikara, right? So this Barhapidam, he is wearing the intoxicated, maddened peacock's fans. Who is that peacock? Because that peacock is Srimad Radharani's favorite peacock. So she uses that peacock for sending messages and all, like for exchanging messages and all. So that peacock reminds Krishna of the lotus eyes of Srimati Radharani. That is the one reason why Krishna wears peacock feather. Right? That is the reason Krishna wears peacock feather. Another reason is Vrindavanam Sakhi Bhuvo Vitanoti Kirtim Yad Devaki Sutapada Ambujalabda Lakshmi Govinda Venu Manumatta Mayura Nutyam Prekshadrimam Avaratanya Samasta Sattvam. So when Krishna is walking in the streets of Vrindavan, my dear Sakhi, one gopi is, this is a verse from Venugit. My dear Sakhi, so Vrindavan, this glorifying, making the land Bhumi Devi very famous, more than Vaikuntha, because Krishna is walking on the streets of Vrindavan barefoot. So when Krishna is like a bluish cloud, So when the peacocks, they see the clouds expecting the rain, they open up their plumes and they dance. So when the peacocks, they see Krishna, bluish, like a bluish cloud, they become enchanted and they open up their eye, when they open their plumes, and then they start, then that time when Krishna is playing the flute, Krishna is playing the flute. So they start dancing, they start dancing. So because you played very nice music, we will give you something, some gift, like we give like that. So they gave, oh, you played your flute very nicely, we want to give you some gift. I said, what? So our feathers. So that is the reason Krishna wears a peacock feather. And then Natavara Vapu. Right? Lord Shiva is known as Natashekara, but Krishna is known as Natavara Vapu. He always would dress like a dancing actor. Right? Why Krishna is known as Natavara Vapu? Because the Lord Shiva does Tandav Nritya. What is the speciality of Krishna's dance? Usually when the ladies, all this Bharatanatyam and all, when they dance, the stage is fixed. The stage is fixed. But when Krishna is dancing on the hoods of Kaliya, the stage is changing, it is a changing stage. Stage is moving. On a moving stage, he is dancing. That's why he got the name as Natavara. Right? In Vaikuntha, he is having 4 hands. Then everybody is afraid of approaching him. But in Vrindavan, he gives up those 4 hands and then he comes in 2-handed form. And then he acts like one of us. He acts like one of us. That is why one Acharya is saying that Jitna Ram and Krishna, they were criticized, no other incarnation is criticized. Right? They keep on criticizing Ramchandra, they keep on criticizing Krishna. Why? Because Avajananti Mamuda Manushim Tanumashritam Parambhava Majananto Mama Buddha Maheshwaram. Because I come in the form of a human being, they think that I am ordinary, so that is why they criticize. They think that I am but I am the master of all living entities. Right? This is a very important verse. This verse and then next verse. Mogasha Moga Karmana Moga Jnana Vichetasaha Rakshasi Masurim Chaiva Prakritim Mohinim Shutaha. Even if practicing devotees, if they think that Krishna's body is material or deity is material, they will take birth in a demonic family in the next life. Right? Demonic life. But Vishnu Chakravarti says that Sattvam Nachet Datar Idam Nijam Bhavit Vijnanam Ajnana Vidha Vimarjanam. This is a prayer by demigods, first 10th canto, 2nd chapter. So in that purport he says, anybody who understands that Krishna's body is transcendental, they will get love of Krishna. But those who think that Krishna's body is material, even if a practicing devotee, he will take birth as a demon. So we have to be very, very careful. We should never think that deity is stone or Krishna's body. All these Mayavadis, they think that Parabrahm, everything is absolute, Nirakar Brahman. But when he comes in the form of Krishna, he assumes the body of in the mode of goodness. In mode of goodness. So that is a very demoniac thought. But Krishna is always transcendental. Natavara Vapuhu. Then Karnayo Karnikaram. He keeps Karnikara flower only in 1 year. You know why? Because nowadays, they have piercing only in one ear. Some otherwise sometimes they have so many piercings. That's why they say these ladies, they have so many piercings they make in the ears and all. सुनेगा नहीं कोई किसी बाप का. They won't listen to anybody, but they have so many piercings. Like that, Krishna has started this fashion trend, keeping only one flower on the ear. You know why? Because Krishna, everybody is enchanted by Krishna, and everybody was imitating Krishna, and then Krishna would keep one flower in his ear. Then all the other gopas also, they would keep only one flower, Karnikara flower in their ears. And it seems all the flowers are finished. So Krishna did not have another flower to keep in his in the ear. It's a joke. There is unlimited available. Krishna Chakra says it indicates, keeping only one flower in the ear indicates the pride of his youth. Pride of his youth. Nowadays, we are. Some of the devotees are hesitant to put tilak and kantimala and go to office. But we see so many people, right? They have this haircut. They cut hair like this. Punk. Punk cut. Then they shave all over, and then they keep sikka here. And then they roam around, and then all these men, they have nose rings. Nose rings. All that is, if they have guts to do all those things, why should devotees have fear, to put tilak and kantimala, right? Devotees should wear kantimala, tilak everywhere they go, those congregations. They should not hesitate, and then people respect it. Right? Barhapidam Natavaravapu Kannayo Karnikaram Vibradvashaha Kanakakapisham Vaijayanti Chimalam. So, he is wearing a Pitambar Vastra. The Pitambar Vastra represents that after the annihilation, Ambara Akash, Pitambara, Ambara, everything goes inside, and then Akash goes inside Krishna. Like that, he is the one, at the time of annihilation, he absorbs the entire world. That is the meaning of Krishna wearing Pitambar Vastra. Another meaning of Krishna wearing Pitambar Vastra is, he wants to show that I am, otherwise Krishna is covered by Yoga Maya. Right? Now, what is it? Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha mudoyam nabhijanati lokamam ajamavyayam. So this Krishna wearing Pitambar Vastra is to show that he is actually wants to be seen by devotees. Right? Devotees. So Yogamaya Upashitam. Then Yogamaya helps devotees to see Krishna. That is the business of Yogamaya. Like that. Pitambara. So Vibrad Vashaha Kanakakapisham Vaijayanti Chamalam. When Krishna is walking on the streets of Vrindavan, the sun rays are falling on this yellowish cloth, and it is reflecting dazzling light. And it looking very beautiful, right? How many of you know the first verse of Bhishma Stuti, or second verse of Bhishma Stuti? Anybody knows? Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravara Ambara Dadani Vapural Kakala Vratanam Abjam Vijaya Sake Ratirastu Me Anvadhaya. So when Bhishma Dev also saw Krishna, he had this vision. In front of him. How will they fight, How will he fight? So Prabhupada writes in Bhakti-rasam Sindhu that when Krishna would go to the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he would dress himself just like as if he was going some marriage party. You know, nobody would think that he is going for the battlefield. You know, all very nicely decorated. Sometimes Krishna would decorate his crown with flower garlands. You know, and then Vaijantimala to hai. Then his face is decorated with sandalwood pulp, and then somebody draws pictures. Right? Somebody draws pictures like that. So this Tribhuvana Kamanam Tamalavarnam Ravikara Gauravar Ambara Dadani. So when Vishmadev saw Krishna on the chariot of Arjuna, he became so enchanted. He was remembering Tribhuvana Kamanam. My dear, Krishna is pleasing to all the three worlds. What are all the three worlds? Bhuloka, Swargaloka and Vaikuntha Loka also. Right? Or another meaning of Tribhuvana Kamanam is more beautiful than Vaikuntha, Mathura, Dwaraka and Golakundava. Right? Tribhuvana Kamanam is most pleasing. Tribhuvana Kamanam, Tamalavarnam, Ravikara. So when the sun rays are falling on the Pitambara Vastra of Krishna, it is giving effulgence, and then Vishmadev was enchanted. You know, so he is remembering, and then his face is decorated with sandalwood pulp. So let that beautiful form of Krishna, Vijay Sakha, may appear in my heart. Vijay Sakhe Ratirastu me Anvadaya. You know, like that. So very beautiful. Vishmadeva's prayers, they are worth remembering. Then Vaijayanti Chimala. Right? Vaijayanti Mala, Krishna wearing Vaijayanti Mala represents that he is the controller of Maya, which is consisting of Panchabhutas. So the meaning of Vaijayanti Mala, because 5 colored flowers, they are appear in the garland of Krishna, Vaijayanti Mala. So in that Vaijayanti Mala represents that Krishna is the controller of material nature, which is consisting of Panchabhutas. So this Vaijayanti Mala, then Randran Venur Adar Sudam Apurayan Gopavrindai. Right? Then he is filling the flute, holes of the flute, you know, with this nectar, you know, and then that flute is, you know, spreading the glories of Krishna. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Maduram Maduram Vapurasya Vibho Maduram Maduram Nayanam Maduram. Right? Mrudugandhi Mrudasmita Etadaho Maduram 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 Maduram. Right? This chapter, we can by heart that chapter. Opulences and the sweetness of Krishna, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhulila. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself, he is describing his own beauty, and then he himself becomes intoxicated. Hey Sanatan, I became mad. I wanted to tell you something, but Krishna's beauty is enchanted. Like that. So Krishna, Maduram, Krishna's body is very beautiful, very, very beautiful. And then Krishna's eyes are more and more, 3 times more beautiful. But his smile is most beautiful. Okay? Most beautiful. And that smile only, it's like a camphor. You know, it's like a camphor. That fragrance of the Krishna's beautiful smile is transferred to the flute of Krishna. Right? The flute of Krishna. And then it enchants all the 3 worlds. Mahaprabhu says, of course, Krishna himself becomes enchanted. all the gopis, they become enchanted. And it pierces, and all the demigods and all, when Krishna is playing the flute, because the best way to attract anybody is music, right? So this Sangeet Sagar, why Saraswati Devi is always carrying veena, veena, because this she may drown in the ocean. That's why if I am drowning in the Sangeet Sagar, I may take it as a shelter. That's why she is always carrying that veena, so that she can catch hold of the veena and then come out of that ocean like that. So when Krishna is playing flute, so all the what is his name? Tumbura, Narad Muni's friend, Tumbura. So he was playing veena. He's playing veena. So when the flute sound of Krishna fell into the ears of Tumbura, he said, "What is this use of this veena raga?" Then he gave it up. Then he just Narad Muni, Lord Shiva, and then Brahmaji, they came with notebooks, because all these, there is Sangeet Priyas, Tamil Nadu, they have Carnatic music festivals and they hold. And then there are a lot of music lovers, Carnatic music lovers, they go there to it. Tyagaraj, Vaibhavam, something like that, they have, there is a very famous singer in Andhra Pradesh, Tyagaraj, he achieved perfection through music. And our movement is also based on music only, right? Beautiful singing. So so they go with the notebooks, to learn some new tunes and all that. When Lord Shiva, Brahma, and Narad Muni and all, they came with notebooks to learn Krishna's new tunes that Krishna is playing, and it is beyond their comprehension, and they gave it up. And they gave it up. So this flute song, it attracts people in such a way that opposite things happen. Munis, they become Mudhas. Mudhas, they become Munis, intelligent people. So how? Because when it reached Brahmaloka, Brahmaji and all, they were always meditating, as Shanak Sanadi and all, they are always meditating. How they meditate? They meditate on the form of the Lord, and every form of Krishna, there is a mantra, and they chant that mantra and they meditate on that form. Like that. And they forgot when the flute music fell into their ears, they forgot their mantras. And their minds became distracted. So they became mudas. Then uneducated gopas and all, they were actually doing tala and then dancing. So they became very intelligent. Right? So in order to test Krishna, what is the effect of Yamuna, his flute song, he played flute on the bank of Yamuna. So Yamuna, which is flowing, became stagnant. Then after some time, again it started flowing. So one Acharya comments, our lives are also like Yamuna Devi. Because Yamuna waters are flowing, the desires in our heart, they are flowing constantly. Somehow if you become enchanted by Krishna's beauty and flute and all, then our heart also will become stagnant, and all the desires will become stagnant. But again it should start flowing, because then raga will go away, then anuraga will appear, then our heart should again start flowing towards Krishna. So that is Bilumangal Thakur says that once Krishna was playing the flute, one gopi came running. My dear Shyam Sundar, please stop playing flute. He said, what happened? In the afternoon time, what is your problem? I am playing flute. Arey problem hai na, ye time hai cooking karne ka. So cooking karo. But when I am cooking, when your flute song is there, the fire becomes water. And the dry wood again starts sprouting. So how can I cook? Please stop playing at least for 1 hour. Anyway, time is up. So, so the gopis are remembering this beautiful form of Krishna, and then they started crying. So many times I tell this, that the enemy for karmis, is Vishaya. Right? Vishaya. For doing service to Krishna, Vishaya. Right? And enemies for devotees to do service, you know what? Krishna's beauty. Krishna's beauty. That is why Sumitra Devi warned Lakshmana that, when Lord Ramchandra is walking, he looks so beautiful, you will become enchanted, that, don't become apramatta, means you don't become careless. Don't become attracted by the Rama's beauty while walking, just because Rama is beautiful from all sides, front side, back side, left side, right side, every side. So you just become enchanted, then you forget all the things to carry and all. Right? And in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also it is mentioned. The devotee is fanning, and then it becomes ecstatic, and then that it falls. Then the devotees pray to Krishna, please reduce your beauty so that I can do some service to you. Like, so the first thing it happens that when Krishna's beauty, so that is, devotees start crying. Right? So like this, Prabhupada writes that we should remember Krishna like this, all his pastimes, his beauty. So sometimes we should get tears. Prabhupada said, those tears will wash away all the contamination in our life. Right? So the remembrance of Krishna is very, very powerful tool. So that is why Krishna Chakravarti says, Iti Mati Rupakalpita with Krishna. So the great, in that verse, the purport, Krishna Chakravarti says that the greatest service you can do is to make your mind dwell on pastimes of Krishna. So we should engage them. So like this, we should read a Krishna book and remember Krishna's beautiful form, Krishna's beautiful pastimes. Prabhupada says in first canto 8th chapter, 10th canto 8th chapter, that the Krishna and Balaram crawling in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. If you remember these Krishnas crawling on the Nanda Maharaj's courtyard, you will attain Kaivalya. Simply by remembering Krishna's crawling on the, all these people, Kaivalya means not becoming absorbed in Krishna 100%, attaining unlimited happiness like that. So this is how the gopis, even though apparently they were crying, but that is ecstasy. Right? That is ecstasy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions?
Thank you very much for narrating wonderful smile of Krishna. Question: why Sukadeva Goswami Maharaj was Mayavadi?
He is not Mayavadi, Brahmavadi.
Why?
Vasishtha Muni was a Brahmavadi, Mayavadi. Brahaspati was a Mayavadi. Oh, misfortune. Somebody becomes Brahmavadi or Mayavadi, misfortune. Because we are very fortunate, because we read Prabhupada books. Right? Prabhupada is always bombarding, Mayavadi, Mayavadi. And in 1991, 92, when I started reading, Mayavadi, I was wondering, who is this Mayavadi, they look, they are carnivorous or what? I was thinking, Mayavadi, very unfortunate, Prabhupada says. Atom bomb is waiting for Mayavadis. Prabhupada, right? You heard this lecture? Queen Kunti, Prabhupada is giving lecture on Queen Kunti's prayers. He said, rascals, these demons, atom bomb is waiting for them. One day it will fall on Mayavadi. But Mayavadi is different from Brahmavadi. Can you imagine? Vasishtha Muni, he is Kuluguru of Ramchandra, and he is a Mayavadi. He wrote a book, Yoga Vasistham, full of Mayavadi. And then that is why, in order to anger Lord Chaitanya, Advaita Acharya started reading that book, Yoga Vasistham. Mahaprabhu took a stick and beat him. Now thank you. Otherwise, you are respecting me as my guru. And then Mukunda also goes to hear this Yoga Vasistham.
In Ramakatha, you mentioned that Vishwamitra, he developed the love for Ramchandra and Valmiki. But same Vishwamitra and Nardamuni, they were there in the Dwaraka pastimes. When Samba comes here, these guys who attend these two names, Nardamuni and Vishwamitra. So the Nardamuni also took part in Dwaraka Leela with Krishna. So could he have the same love for Ramchandra, or could see Ramchandra and Krishna?
Who? Vishwamitra? We don't hear Vishwamitra expressing love for Krishna. Just like Hanuman. He knows Krishna and all, but he still loves Ramchandra only. So their deity is fixed. They don't change. They may do some pastimes also, but okay, thank you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram.